TIFU by cheating on my so and karma came fast. This actually happened about 10 years ago and we split up because of it. Before I go any further, I want to point out that I am fully aware of how shitty and inexcusable cheating is. I was young and made a mistake that I paid for immediately. This is my story. So one night my roommate invited me, 21 years old at the time, to the beach to see a bunch of people that we knew from high school and hadn't seen since graduation. We had spent all night in the bar drinking and taking shots. Eventually the bar closes, so my roommate and the remaining members of our group decided to grab the coolers from our friend's hotel and head towards the water to finish the night off with a few more beers and listen to the water. The waves seemed to be appearing from a void. This is about the time things took a turn. We had been debating getting in the water. But this is not very smart at night, especially when you don't know the schedule of the tide. Plus we were absolutely shit-faced. I was the first one to start heading that way, removing my clothes down to my underwear. When one of the girls we were with sprints past me, I turn around and everyone is naked. I admit that at this point I had not even considered how my girlfriend would have felt about this. And I got naked too. We had been swimming for about 30 minutes when everyone started splitting up. This was during low tide, so you could go quite a ways away from shore and still be waist deep. I had come up to a sandbar with this girl that I had been friends with for years. Neither of us had even realized how far away we had strayed from the group or the shore. This is the moment I cheated. About halfway through the deed I heard my roommate screaming our names at the top of his lungs. We were the only ones left out there and the tide was coming in. We made it only a few feet from the sandbar when I noticed what looked like fireflies in the water. I quickly realized that these were jellyfish and they were everywhere. We both frantically tried to hurry through, but they just kept coming. There were at least 50-75 that we could see. Suddenly I felt a sharp sting across the back of both knees. I grabbed my friend by the wrist and started to pull her as I did my best to run, because now shit had gotten serious. I made the one mistake that every beachgoer knows better than to do. I decided we needed to get out immediately and climbing the rocks would help. I didn't even get a single foot planted because my toe was immediately sliced open to the bone by a clam. Now I am naked, pouring blood, and both of us had been stung all over. We started back towards the beach when I was doubled over in pain, shooting through my penis and balls. I thought I had been bitten by something. But it turns out a jellyfish had wrapped around my genitals. I had never been in pain like this before. When we finally got to the beach, we were surrounded by all of our friends who heard us screaming and had called the police because they thought we had come across a shark. It's now almost 5 a.m. and the experience had completely sobered me up. The police were surprisingly cool about the whole situation and one of them offered to walk us back to the hotel. Fast forward to later in the morning when my roommate had driven us home. When we got home I started evaluating my injuries. I definitely needed stitches, but opted out because I didn't have insurance at the time. My penis looked horrendous, however. I couldn't even believe what this jellyfish had done to it. It was swollen, tender, and was a different shape. I took a handful of ibuprofen and took a shower before passing out for the remainder of the day until the evening, when I wake up to my girlfriend crawling in the bed with me. My heart sank. She knew I had gone out the night before. And my roommate informed her of my rough night, excluding the fact that I betrayed her. She was there for maybe a total of 10 minutes before I completely broke down and confessed. But did not tell her about the cut or the jellyfish. She never looked at me. Never cried and left without saying anything. I saw her about 4 years ago in a bar. She approached me and asked if we could talk for a while. She told me that she was never mad at me and that after some time she was just happy I was honest after the fact, she noted. To which I replied, "Well, I've got something else to tell you about that night that you're going to love." She ducking loved every second of hearing the rest of the events from that night. We laughed pretty hard about it. I paid for her tab and left. We haven't spoken since. Damn. That's a story she'll be telling people for years. Talk about a parting gift. Got any crazy exes? Want to hear about the jellyfish cheater? Exactly. And she'll get to laugh about it all over again. If when she eventually has daughters and they complain about crazy exes, she can go, "Oh honey, I have you beat by a mile too," and tell this story. OP just gave her the gift that never stops giving. He could have just given her herpes and saved himself the trouble. Damn. Your ex-girlfriend must be Poseidon's secret human daughter or something for the sea to get you like that. Pissed him off. Her name was Persona Jackson. Persephone Jackson maybe. Just going with the Greek theme, LOL. No, a hole here wasn't me. But you caught him on the counter. So who did you get to pee on your dick? The roommate in the story will bring this up from time to time and say I should have asked him because that's what friends are for. If it helps. You're not actually supposed to do that, lol. My friends say to rub sand over it to help abrase the stingers off. I guess that's what friends are for. An old-fashioned sand job. My foreskin has never been smoother. So what you are trying to say is that you cheated on your girlfriend with a jellyfish? Pretty much. I'm not gonna lie. On my first read that's what I thought. The ending is how you know it's not a shitty writer's rom-com pitch idea. The adults talked about it well after the fact with the clarity of hindsight and moved on. Rather than engaging in a series of ridiculous events of neither fully hearing what the other was saying, causing unwarranted issues. Also that OP didn't try giving us specific details of the sex act. Like half the posts on here. Because the jellyfish cheating part was the pure gold, lol. Sounds like you wanted a porn. Oh no, what a duck up. I like this story. Why did the police come with an ambulance? Didn't your friends call BC? They thought it was a shark attack. All together. Great story, enjoyed that you guys could laugh about it. Story started in the bar and ended in the bar. I left out a few details. The scene was pure chaos shortly after we had come back to shore. We were scolded pretty hard, but overall they were really cool. Probably just relieved there wasn't actually a shark attack. May I ask what coast you live on? I am assuming West Coast, right? I don't know much about life on either coast. This was on the East Coast. I later learned that it was actually their mating season and that's why there were so many. The signs were posted. But it was dark and we were drunk, so we missed that part. It was actually their mating season. It's also why it went straight for the dick. It's very important that we all realize that yes, humans make mistakes. But hearing about how a cheater got all ducked up literally during the act of cheating will never not be entertaining. Glad you owned up to it and let the girl move on to someone who wouldn't betray her. This is also why I choose not to get shit-faced drunk. Too easy to make horribly dumb mistakes. 100% correct. Friend. I believe it's a perfectly reasonable statement to say OP would not have cheated had he not been so inebriated. I know many people will disagree. But it wasn't a cause. Just a good excuse. Being drunk is a poor justification. That's it. Karma definitely came fast. That's for sure. Wait. Did he say her name was Karma? The jellyfish was named Karma. How the duck did your toe heal back up without stitches? You know what's more expensive than stitches? Treatment for the horrendous infection that could have occurred. And it was cut to the bone. Dude. Once infection hits the bone, the toe is going bye-bye. Amputation is much more expensive than stitches. Now that I think about this, they should really teach this kind of stuff in schools along with risk analysis. I have a pretty noticeable scar there now, but otherwise it healed just fine. I took good care of it, but it did take quite a while to heal. That last part couldn't be said enough times. Even while doing the many purely stupid things I did that night. I never realized the scope of how bad things could have really been until many years later. Yeah. It's amazing how much we simply are never taught. No child left behind. Damn straight. You get left behind. You get left behind. Everybody gets left behind. If everyone's left behind, no one is. Damn, you cheated on your girlfriend with a jellyfish. I have no idea how she remained so calm. When I found out my ex was cheating on me, I felt sick to my stomach and like I wanted to burn the world. We're cool now, but I would have punched him if I didn't somehow keep my cool. Props to her. And props to you for coming clean. Her silence did so much more than anything she could have said or done to me in that moment. It was just cold. If I had just told someone I ducked up and their reaction was silence, I'd be terrified. You ducked up, got karma'd, and were honest. She was strong enough to walk away as was deserved. And you had the opportunity to tell a story and laugh together. That's a lot more than most cheaters get. Yeah. You ducked up, but you were honest. If only all cheaters could be punished by karma like you were. Maybe they'd think twice about cheating. What a great story. And I'm glad your ex was able to move on and that things didn't end in an ugly or dramatic way. She seems like an awesome human. That's a lot of dignity and poise I would not have. She clearly is a duck insane of a human being, because Poseidon noticed she was being screwed over and nearly smote this dude's dick off. Oh hell no. We do not hurt Rachel. She is a duck and queen. Feel the power of the ocean. Bitch. We were on a break. Jesus duck, that jellyfish scene is exactly why I don't swim in the ocean. Pretty ducked up when you turn down medical care due to financial reasons, lol. Welcome to America, bro, lol. I feel bad for her, but at the same though. That's hilarious. At least she was a good sport about it years later. To be honest, it seems like you missed out on a winner. Anyways, wish you best of luck. This wound up being wholesome somehow. Good story. OP. Thank you. We all make mistakes. It's that you own up to them that counts. I'd say it's that, as well as not making the same mistake in the future. I like this story a lot. It bums me out when people refuse to forgive strangers for a mistake they made. Especially when they're trying to move on. Good on you for accepting what you did and moving on. You seem like a rad dude. Thanks for that. This type of karma needs to happen to every cheater. At least something similar, and it needs to be instant karma like in this story, haha. Well done for owning up. Sure, that was hard at the time. But I can guarantee you both appreciate it now. Looking back. Do you know what made you cheat and how you've moved past it ever happening again? Great question. I really don't know why I did that. I've never done it before or since then. I was extremely intoxicated. But what was going through my head at the time is something I wish I could recall. The girl that this happened with was a good friend for years. Maybe it was just something we both subconsciously wanted and had an excuse to do in that moment. Did you at least finish? Rather quickly. Yes. Not even the bang made any of this worth it. What happened with you and the friend afterwards? Great story. Thanks for sharing. The worst night of my life turned into something I laugh about today. Just imagine if life always punished cheaters like this. By destroying their PP with jellyfish. Cheating in someone's bed. Inside. In Kansas. And a ducking jellyfish appears like a Pokemon on your junk. If only life was so fair. Just so you know, she may have been happy that you came clean, but cheating still stings. More than any jellyfish. Luckily. Through the years she probably came to appreciate your confession more than she was hurt by your cheating. I was cheated on. Humiliated on. My ex never admitted to it. Even though it was very obvious. And when I asked him what he had to say, he said he would not apologize for anything. He realized how fun it was to mess around. And I just wasn't sexual enough. I waited and waited and waited for an apology that never came. Instead, I saw him posting millions of pics with him ogling over and giving gifts to the new girl he cheated with. She also had cheated and left her own BF, which is how I find out. It's been almost a decade and I still don't forgive him. ESB. Since he never apologized. Last message to him said, I wish he would have had the decency to have been honest. Maybe then we could have maintained some semblance of a friendship. I hope you learn to become a better person. Something like that. Then signed it with my endearing nickname. Never got a reply. Never yelled or showed him how bad it effed me up for years. You're right, it is the ultimate betrayal. I felt horrible about it and have since been cheated on as well. To be honest, I still feel like a real shithead because she was always good to me. Even after I did that, she still found it in her to be nice. I realized that no amount of apologizing would make her feel better, and I definitely did not want to have the conversation years down the road. Ending it was the only option I had. I like to think that she is now making someone a really happy guy. Live and learn. And never ever mistreat a good girl again. I've always been the good girl type and luckily was only cheated on that one time, but it can be very scarring, painful. Even years later. Yes. Life goes on and I have been with other people since. And enjoyed the relationships. From the outset, most would say everything looks fine, but I am just here for your friendly reminder that just because she said she was and looked happy doesn't mean she went through no suffering. It can affect future relationships and trust for life. I've come to terms with it all. And have no desire to ever see or talk to that ex. But if somebody brought up what happened, I tear up. Ghosting after cheating. Clearly a good reason to break up. Holy shit. Almost the same thing happened to me, except I wasn't at the beach and it was crabs instead of jellyfish, but still. Why the duck were you surrounded by crabs but not on a beach? LOL. It's a different type of crabs, bro. This is the best immediate karma to the dick story I think I've ever read. You know, if I was your GF I probably would have forgiven you. Then got you hard as many times as possible before you healed up. It's so evil, yet I can't even say I blame you, LOL. Yeah. But I'd be confident you wouldn't do that shit again. You'd be absolutely right. Now kiss. I get like a great white buffalo vibe from her. Maybe at one time I thought that. But it was so long ago and I've since moved across the country. I definitely needed stitches. But opted out because I didn't have insurance at the time. What a sad world we live in. I was reading the entire story and it was fun and all. Then I got to that point of the story. The fact that a person so relatable young person, hanging out with friends at the beach does not get medical attention after a series of events that clearly deserve some care, including venomous animals and cuts that require stitches, is beyond comprehension for me. I was already surprised when police came and offered to walk them to the hotel. Because as most other countries an ambulance would show up, not police. And the night would have ended in a hospital. It's nice to hear how you buried the hatchet with your ex. Some people don't get the chance to. You can move forward without having that cross to bear. Cheers bro. Felt damn good, that's for sure. Hit like. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to our channel.